This is Rick from Hiking Emergency Beacon, and today I'm trying out my Garmin inReach Mini 2 for the very first time. I'm out on a trail here and I've put this thing through a really in-depth field test, and you're going to love what you see. But before I do that, please like, subscribe, share, and turn on notifications so you'll be alerted as soon as I put out new videos. Well, where do I start with this incredible satellite messenger? It's brand new. I mean, it maybe is 2, 3, 4 months old, and I just received it about a week or two ago. This is March of 2022. This thing is the same size as the last one. This one is black. My Garmin inReach Mini was red, but that's why I got the black one to tell the difference. And there is a beautiful mule deer walking by me in the snow. Incredible being out here in Colorado. So there's more. There's a group of them. There's a family, a herd. There's a herd of mule deer. Hopefully they're happy and nice. They always are. So I wanted to test this Garmin inReach Mini 2 out in every way possible, because I've used the Garmin inReach Mini for quite a long time, for a year and a half probably. So I know it pretty well. What I found out right away on this is, to me, maybe sometimes it can be the device, but I'll tell you what, it's easier to depress the buttons on this Garmin inReach Mini 2 than in my Mini. And they have more things on it now. There's some automatic features on the TracBack and the navigation, what it shows, and the automatic tracking, the points that it stores. Even if you don't do anything, it stores points so you can track back, get back to your starting point, get back to safety. And what I did first was, of course, you got to go through a setup or exchange. I'll put it on the screen here, but you're not exchanging a device, but you're changing your device. So I still have my Mini, but I changed from my Mini to my Mini 2. And I didn't want to have 2 subscriptions. So I did that first, made sure it was all set up. I went into my Explorer maps on the Garmin site and make sure it was still, everything looked good. The map itself hasn't changed, so nothing's changed there. The app that it uses does change. It's the Explorer app, I believe is what it's called. Let me just look at that real quick, and I'll put a shot of it up on screen. Yes, it's called the Explorer app. And so it does work a little different, but it's very similar. Both the app for the Mini and the Mini 2 are great. And if you know how to get around the Mini, you'll have no problem getting around on the Explorer app. So I tested the messages out in multiple ways here, in self-service and outside of self-service. I sent it to my phone, and then I sent it to my my email. Now, I don't know if the email's actually worked yet. I know it works on the phone, but I don't know if it's worked on the email. Let me see. If you send a message to your Garmin inReach email, it'll work. It's still not showing up the message was sent. It does show here I sent it. There is a question mark. It does show my information that myself, my contact information. And I was doing this to myself here because I didn't want to bother people. It's not sending, it hasn't sent to my email address, but I know it absolutely works when you send it to your phone. And I'll show you, you'll see screenshots of that. So this is a good point to tell you to make sure you test your device when you head out to the mountains or wherever you're at, because every single time I've gotten a satellite messenger, I've realized my first time out, or even sometimes the second time out, I didn't have it all figured out, and I had to go back, research some more, change some settings before I was really comfortable that I was ready to go. So, man, just always test it, especially on a long trip. Do not go out on a long trip and not have tested this thoroughly. You will not be happy, because it's just, if you didn't put contacts in ahead of time, you won't be able to contact people. I say you won't be able to contact people. I'm going to put this up on the screen because on some devices you have to put your contacts in ahead of time before you leave. You can't add them in the field. I will add, I'll show on the screen here, if you can actually add a contact in the field on the fly. Let's just say that the messaging works really well. I've had it go as fast as a minute. The one, of course, that went to my email hasn't gone through yet, so can't count that. Again, just test your device before you go out and know who you can send it to, or what device or email or phone number you can actually send it to. The next thing I did is I requested weather, and I did request a premium weather, which you have to have, I believe, the Expedition subscription package, or you'll have to pay for it. There's a basic weather and a premium. So do your research on that. I'll leave some a screenshot up here on the subscription plans and what they offer. So I go out a lot and I do a lot of reviews, so I get the better subscription. But again, always know your device and what you get and don't get. So the weather works great. It goes a 7-day forecast, I believe, 7 or 8. It doesn't go hourly on the premium. You'll see a screenshot of that. It didn't let me do hourly forecast or give me hourly information. But it uses dark sky. Now, I will say, some people have said that some other devices don't have as good as weather forecast, and that may be true, but so far there's been about 4 of the devices I've checked, and they all use dark sky. I need to do a little more research on that, but anyway, Garmin inReach uses dark sky for their weather forecast. So then what I've done is I've gone out and I've tested the navigation and tracking. So I've come out to Dawson's Butte Open Space Ranch trail, and I've tested it with the by route, and I've already had the route in, and so when you're on the Explorer map page, you can go in there and lay put in a route, waypoints, all kinds of information, and you can change the route to whatever color you want. You can give them names. You can have as many routes as you want in there. Each route though can only have about 200 points. Just be careful of that, and if you need more than 200 points, you may need to break your route up into smaller chunks. So I got all that laid out, and before I came out here, and so I came out here, and the first test I wanted to do was to navigate by route. And so I wanted to navigate in reverse order. I had seen where you could do that, so I did. You'll see all the screenshots up here. I navigated. I selected a reverse course, and then it took me. And then I started hiking. Only went about 0.3 miles, but you could see on the smartphone and on the device itself that I was on the trail and following, and the trail. You could see the points or tracking that was being laid down behind me. When I got to a big open field, I took off down the field to test and see if it would give me audible alerts and visual alerts if I was off the course. And sure enough, within, I don't know, 30 to 50 yards, it gave me an audible alert that I was off the trail. It gave me this 2 squiggly line icon, the trail icon, and showed an X, like I was going the wrong direction. I kept going, gave me an alert again, the audible and the visual, and then I turned around. As soon as I turned around, it showed me the squiggly line, but it showed me that no X anymore, that I was going in the right direction. So at that point, I selected the TracBack feature, navigate by TracBack, and then so the route, just to let you know real quick, when you're tracking by route, it shows it red, and then behind you, as you've been walking, it'll show it blue. So it's either blue or green. You'll see some screenshots though. So then I was heading back by navigating by TracBack, and the red route went away. It went back to the yellow route that I had made when I was at home. And then in front of me, it showed the trail that I was supposed to be on, or the route that I was supposed to go, as blue. And then it showed the tracks. It showed tracks wherever I go. Wherever you go behind you, it shows your tracks you've laid down. And so I got back to the trail, and as soon as I got on the trail, I got another audible alert and a visual alert, and this time I believe it said on course. So it kept me right on trail, got me back to the trailhead, safe and sound. It just works perfectly. So whether you're looking on your smartphone or your device, what Garmin's done here is with this Garmin inReach Mini 2 is just absolutely incredible. And it's kind of hard to get lost even when you don't have your cell phone synced. So I was able to navigate all the way back to the trailhead, and just worked incredibly well. Again, you'll see all screenshots up here. The Garmin inReach Mini 2 is the same size, like I said before, as the Mini, but what they've packed into this now, it was my favorite before. It's absolutely my favorite again. Now, if I'm on a long hike, I said before, if I'm on a long hike, a long outdoor adventure, I'm going to take the Explorer Plus, the Garmin inReach Explorer Plus. It has I believe it has a longer battery life, and has on-screen maps, so if you lose sync with your phone with all that, you can still see maps on the device itself. It has the altimeter, the barometer, the accelerometer. It gives you better information if you're looking for elevation or how fast you're moving, etc. Gives you better information. So I did 2 more tests after this. The next test I did is I set my tracking. I headed off down a trail with no route, and again I went about 0.3 miles, And then I stopped, and because I wasn't, yeah, I had the tracking on, but I wasn't navigating. I just had tracking. So then I stopped, and then I selected navigate back by TracBack to my starting location. I believe it even said navigate to start. It did. It worked really well. It showed the tracks along the way. And so in this case too, it's following the trail exactly. It's not pointing back to the start. It's just pointing along your trail, following the tracks you laid down. I think I may have already mentioned this, but if you're on a longer trip, you want to set your tracking to say 10-minute intervals. Saves battery. I have mine at 2-minute intervals, but it's tracking. To me, it lays down tracks. When you're tracking back, it lays down tracks more frequent than that. I can't tell you that for sure, but man, when I'm doing switchbacks and it's following that switchback exactly, that's not 2 minutes. That's seconds apart. So what I did on this case, in this test also, I went off trail, and I got audible alerts again. The trail symbol with the X going the wrong direction. About every 30 seconds, I turned around. It gave me the trail symbol again, but this time no X, showing and then it showed the tracks, how I was getting back to the trail. I got back to the trail, and I'm on course again, and it takes me right back to my starting point. Extremely successful test. That one, again, that was tracking, but I was not navigating at that point by route. I was only navigating by TracBack after I had gone out and was acting like I was lost. The third test I did was I didn't set anything. No, I didn't track, nothing. I just headed off down a trail. I went 0.3, 0.4 miles again. And then because I had seen and read where the Garmin inReach devices will, or at least the Mini 2, will store temporary tracks. And so if you didn't track and you didn't navigate, it'll still show you how to get back to safety. And sure enough, I got out. Well, before I do this, I'll tell you that it was setting tracks down without me doing anything. It was showing tracks as I was walking, so it automatically does this. And so I had gotten out again about 0.34 miles away, not 4 miles, 0.4 miles away, and then I navigated back by TracBack, and it just worked like a charm. It just followed. It showed me that my tracks going back, showed the arrow in the right direction. You can put your north arrow up to north, or you can put it up along your device. I always like to have it on my device, so like where this is pointing here, this is my pointer basically. It's the antenna, right? Wherever that's pointing, that's where the arrow's pointing. I like that better. So again, I got to a point where I went off trail, gave me audible alerts again, visual alerts, said I was off trail about every 30 seconds. Turn around, it says, okay, yep, you're on the right trail, no more X's. Yeah, here you are, there's the trail icon. I'm back on trail, and now, I got home safe and sound. So I was looking at both my smartphone app and map and my Garmin, but I was really focused on what this Garmin inReach Mini 2 does all by itself if you lost power on your phone, or technology-wise you lost the sync or something. Can you navigate back by the Garmin inReach Mini 2 device all alone? And I can gladly say it does work. It works extremely well. You'll be really happy with it. This device, I paid $400 for it. This is February. I already gave you the date, but anyway, it's 2022. I paid $400 for it. And it's nice too, because say you don't want to spend all that $400 right up front, they have they have a couple ways to pay. One, you can pay over a longer period of time, and another one you can pay like $100 every 2 weeks. So that's what I had picked. I'm not super rich. Anyway, so there are still other things I want to test on the Garmin inReach Mini 2. This was my first time out, and I think I did a pretty extensive test today, especially on the navigation, TracBack, and all that. Love the device, and it is my #1 satellite messenger. There's some others that are close to it, but man, with this Mini 2, it's out in front now. So I recommend you take a look at it. There's more you can research on the website, and you can look at different satellite messengers, and ask me questions too. I mean, if there's something you think or wondering about it, which one's better. Some are better than others. There's some that are better at communicating than others, and some are better with maps. So there's a lot to them. I've been researching these for over 2.5 years now, so I'm getting to know them pretty well. But they're just, this Garmin inReach Mini 2 is just by far is stepped out in front of everybody else, except for possibly, the Garmin inReach Explorer Plus. Thanks for joining me here on Hiking Emergency Beacon, and please like, subscribe, share, and turn on notifications so you'll be alerted as soon as I put out new videos. And please leave questions below, because that helps me to really test these in more depth, helps me to learn more, and also you. And I'll see you back out here in Colorado next time.